Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's the season finale of Queen Sugar entitled For They Existed. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. The family celebrates Hollywood's victory as St. Joe's newest school board member. Ra and Darla spark more flames in their marriage, and so do Vi in Hollywood. Nova makes a call to someone asking in the middle of the night, "Hey, feel like coming over?" And to our surprise, it's Cal. The next morning, she burns incense and begins to connect with her aunt through prayer and meditation. When Calvin wakes up, she expresses that she doesn't want to rush him, but she's headed to her Aunt Martha's. He remembers she's the aunt on her mother's side. Nova wants to head over quickly as Martha didn't have a will. She left her home to a local church and wants to pack up her things before they put the house up for sale or whatever they're going to do with it. Nova can't stand how disconnected she's become. She used to be able to hold a person's hands and understand things about them. Cal doesn't think it's gone. The gift is deep within her. Hollywood and Prosper head over to a place of business, questioning certain details for the auction. The Landrys headed out for Ralph Angel, just like they did for Ernest. Prosper wishes he was able to have done more for them over the years. Darla can't thank Blue enough. They're on their way so she can get a manicure. Blue says that Grandpa's allowance money was just sitting there in the drawer forever. While Darla heads in to get a manicure, it's a moment with just Ralph and the kids. So how is school going? Blue is a little speechless though. He feels like he doesn't fit in. He really doesn't vibe with them and feels that no one gets him. Ralph wants him to know, just because he was raised differently doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve to go to that school. His biological father went to that school, and so did his mother. They even went to school together. Darla said that I could be your dad. His biological dad said that it was okay. Blue concludes that he didn't want to be a father, and he doesn't take it personally. Ralph loves him and wants Blue to always remember his roots. He wants Blue to keep their conversations between them until he can talk more with his mom. Micah stops by the diner before his flight. He got into a disagreement with his mom and has now decided he's not going anymore. Vi doesn't get it. Charlie is just 2 days away from one of the most important moments in her life. Why would he miss that? Even though he had a disagreement, he doesn't feel comfortable going. But he should go. He's the only one that can be there with his mom right now. She needs a family member's support. Everyone else is going into town for the auction. Also, their foster assignment can start at any moment. Literally, no one else can go. Micah is still upset. His dad is there, her California friends and staff will be there with her. She's fine. He can't take his mother with all of her demands. He's a grown man, and everyone needs to respect that. His volume gets a little loud, and even Billy raises her head to see if everything is okay. Vi isn't having it. He's a grown man? Is this how a grown man behaves? Not showing up for his people? He needs to lower his tone and watch how he speaks to people. Hollywood and Prosper visit a business. Hollywood knows this corporation registered a bid. He greets the receptionist and wants to know, where do they source their cane juice from to make their rum? The receptionist is happy to help. They make 6 varieties and cane from 3 different parishes. Ma'am, are one of those parishes St. Joe? Unfortunately, she's not sure about that information. Only her boss would know. When they request to speak with her boss, he's available. And it's the nephew of Sam Landry, Jacob. The family stops for gas fill-up, and Blue still seems to be quiet about school. Ralph steps away to get some items from the store, and Darla wants to know if everything is okay. Blue says that he's already talked to Pops, and he's right. He should remember that he deserves to be at that school as much as anyone else. He has a legacy at that school, actually double. Darla is confused. What do you mean by double? Blue realizes what he said, and it's a slip-up, and he says, grandmother went there. Darla doesn't buy it. Blue, you know grandma didn't go there. Now Darla seems aware of who might be feeling in blue of certain information. Jacob offers Hollywood and Prosper to taste a grade of rum, and the fellas are impressed. The beverage has grassy notes and it's smooth. He continues with his presentation. Why battle with my uncle and all of his issues when I can be here? I'm 5 hours away from my own and doing this alone. Prosper thinks it's interesting. If you're not registered at the auction, then someone is using your name. Well, I don't know what happened. It could be an automated auction. I never turned it off. I'm done with my family. You can't choose your family, but anyone can decide who they are, who they choose to be and represent. I'm making different choices. I have to stay far away from my family. I can't get pulled back in. Prosper and Hollywood wish him all the best and good luck, and they toast before leaving. Vi's diner is packed as the company that's interested in investing in her pies created a tweet for promotion. It's overwhelming, but Micah, Billy, and Nova are there to help. To help even more, Vi structures that in-house dining only, that comes from the menu, and to-go orders only are for the pies. And Billy must give out those bills as soon as the guests are finished. Also, there are certain items that are sold out. Vi can't do this. She doesn't like all of this attention. She's expecting a foster child at any moment, any day now. Why is it busy now out of all days? What if I can't handle fostering a child? Maybe there was a reason why this never happened. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. Nova can't believe her ears. She stops to hold Vi's hand. Breathe on, Vi. All is well. Say it with me. You got this. Vi takes a deep breath and gathers herself. Billy then helps someone at the counter. Hi, I'm a friend of the Bordelons. Can I help in any way? Wait, I'm sorry, sir. May I have your name so I can check with the family? Sure. I'm Remy Newell. Cal and Nova watch over the coverage concerning the elections. For weeks, John Green and Charlie Bordelon have been neck and neck for weeks. Now Charlie Bordelon is surging ahead. Nova is now exhausted from the day. Catching up with Remy and helping out with Vi. She spoke with Charlie earlier in the week, but she sounded so tired over the phone. Charlie is her best when she's working on what's next. Who knows where this will take her? Calvin knows that the Bordelon family and the women are powerful. They can do so many things and anything they put their minds to. Even Nova, it's her superpower. Now Nova is passive, saying, clearly I can't set my mind to anything. I mean, look at us. Calvin is upset. What do you mean? What are we doing anyway? You knew there was something more to us, other than me just showing up when you call. Nova knows that he's right and knows that he wants more, something she can't give. Calvin walks away. You can give, and you can give it. You just don't want to. I'm not a cop anymore. I'm not married anymore. We were meant to be. This is not the way our story is supposed to end. I can't accept it. After everything he said, Nova can't say anything but good night. Darla sits alone in tears while Ralph is happy that Blue finally dozed off. He'll have to find out the good news about the elections when he wakes up. Darla, you good? Darla is so upset she can hardly speak. You told him. You did what I begged you not to do so many times, over and over again, but it's like you stepped over what I wanted. A total disregard. Ralph doesn't agree. No one has disregarded you. He always takes her under consideration. Everything that happened with Chase, he let her take the lead, trying to be in tune with what she needed. Don't hurt him, Ralph Angel. Okay. I sat back while you negotiated with your rapist. Okay. Sit back while I take his money and give it to the co-op. My co-op. I mean, what if I don't want his money? Okay, Darla? What do you want me to do? My son needs to know how I feel about him. He ain't gonna end up like me and my pops. I can't let that happen. Darla asks again, so you're just gonna override whatever, and whenever we disagree about Blue, your feelings on Blue are the only feelings? I'm tired of your explanations. I'm tired of it all. A stunning upset. John Green takes the win of the U.S. House District of California. It's the first time in decades for a Republican to take the seat of the district. Placing into historical context, this district hasn't placed a Republican in the seat since 1977. Los Angeles, much like the rest of the country, is deeply divided. While Bordelons had a massive fan base and large media attention, she was not able to bring this one home. There's a montage of the family's reaction. Micah closes his laptop in regret, releasing tears. Vi and Hollywood are crushed by the news. Billy and Prosper shake their heads, and Nova clutches her chest, holding back tears. Micah and Nova call Charlie, but the calls go straight to voicemail. Micah is so devastated he doesn't leave a message, and the silhouette of Charlie appears as she waves to the crowd. Remy meets with a few members of the co-op. The university is looking for land to perform more solar research. The land and plot are perfect. Remy's department can acquire the lot and sell Ralph's land back to him. Billy thinks it's a good idea and fills him in on the landmark and legal information. Prosper is happy to announce that she is the perfect person to explain it all. Next semester, she will attend law school in Chicago. Billy says to Ralph, it's a shame Darla had to go visit her mom. Darla was her partner in crime, the research, the paperwork. I wish she could be here for this. As Billy speaks, Ralph is blindsided as to what she's talking about, and he excuses himself. Prosper and Ralph take a moment to view the land just in case they can't get it back. Prosper doesn't mean to pry, but he saw the look on Ralph's face when he heard that Darla was gone. Ralph is upset he found out about Darla just dropping Blue off at Vi's, and she took Drew. She up and left while he was at the co-op and didn't bother to tell him. Out of all of the days, why did she do that now? Prosper wants Ralph to just look at him. Look at me. Prosper tried his best to be there for Ernest's children, and he regrets not opening up more and being honest. He could have shared over the years what Ernest told him, things that might have helped them. He remembers this one time during the harvest, and I said something about a calculator. There's a flashback of a moment. Prosper eager to get a calculator as Ern brags that Ralph Angel didn't need one. He could add up everything in his head. Now he's just out there in them streets. Ern tried to do the bricks value, the yield, and Ralph Angel came right behind him rattling off numbers. He could have knocked me over with the feather. I know he can do so much better, and he could do so much with this land, more than I could ever do. I wish he would just buckle down. Prosper laughs. We used to be in those streets too. Just give him time. Ern is more concerned about the kids than the land. Ralph is in the streets, Nova is in the city, and Charlie, she's across the country. And Trudy, she's gone. If Ralph Angel comes back to the land, I hope that he doesn't hold it up alone. It ain't the same without family. The land that I love don't mean nothing. Hope he does it better. Prosper wants Ralph Angel to know, keep doing what you're doing on the land, work it, grow it, fight for it. But he also wants to have love on it, family on it. That is the most important thing. Whatever happened, you fight for her. If he leaves now, he can arrive in D.C. before midnight. Ralph says, "Thank you, Mr. Prosper," before leaving. Vi wants the hype of the diner promotion to die down, and everyone advises it will. They just need to ride the wave until then. Anything that's a trend has a moment. Before Micah leaves for the airport, he wants to talk to Vi. He apologizes for snapping at her. No matter what's going on in his personal life or matters between him and his mom, it was disrespectful and immature of him to take that tone. He should have been there for his mom. He's sincere in his words, and Vi responds, "Now there, that's grown." And he gives her a hug. Micah is worried. No one has heard from his mom, and Vi says, "I know. I'm worried too." Mrs. Carmichael then arrives with some good news. She found a child in Baton Rouge. She was raised from an infant by her grandmother. She's a bright and sweet girl. When the grandmother passed away about a year ago, Pauline went to foster care at the age of 9. Most families don't want long-term foster care children her age. They want babies. So she's been to 3 foster care homes in 12 months. She's tried to keep her grades up. It's been hard. Before Miss Carmichael can finish her statement, Vi says, she's perfect. She's perfect for us. And they hold one another in tears. The family congratulates Vi in Hollywood to the new Bordelon edition. Miss Carmichael will bring her by tomorrow. Darla whispers, my parents are asleep. The auction is tomorrow. What are you doing here? You told Blue about him. Ralph says that he's not there to fight. She's always encouraged him to use his words, and he's been trying to talk to her for weeks. He wanted to talk to her about Chase and the situation on his own time, but he's sorry for the way that she found out. He wanted Blue to know the truth. Darla doesn't believe his apology and says that she doesn't trust him. Now Ralph has had it. How can you say you don't trust me when you ran away with our daughter without telling me? Do you remember what I told you in that parking lot? I said, all I have to do is think about your life whenever I think about my life, because it was bad. And that's the worst thing I could have ever said at that time. You know what I think about when I look at you today? You want to know what I see? I see someone who probably loves me more than I love myself. On most days, and I'm sorry for it, maybe it didn't come out the right way in the last few days, but that's why I'm trying to talk. I can't do any more secrets, Darla. Secrets are what messed up my family. It's what messed us up. It's what we've been running from, what we kept running from. So what do we do now, Darla? Darla is so lost for words that all she can do is collapse her head on Ralph Angel's chest. Remy loves the real spot. What Hollywood has accomplished is nothing less than amazing. Nova is there to pick up an envelope for Vi. Hollywood remembers, yes, it's on the top left drawer in my office. Remy wants to catch up even more. They both have so much going on. Nova is proud. You got the wife, the kids, this big job. They both brag on each other. No, you're the one with the book and the movies. Okay, we're both doing good, all right? It's so good to see you after all this time. I mean, Remy, you are so different. The same, but like grown. Remy says that he feels grown, finally settled. We all have to find out what that settlement is to all of us. What about you, Nova? Nova says, no, I'm not settled, but I'm closer than what I was. Nova thanks him for coming as they head to the auction. If his plan works, they can get the land back. It's what they want. It's what they need. Nova notices that a lot of people from her past have showed up recently, and she doesn't know what to make of it all. I feel like it's all trying to tell me something, but I don't know what to make of it. Prosper is happy to see Blue and Nova sitting and chatting. It reminds him of what him and Ern used to do when they used to talk about them. It was a hard day. Your mama's funeral? Ern, thank you for making that drive. I've had a hard time with Billy. She said she wasn't going to come to her mother's funeral if it was in Louisiana. She said she was never coming back to St. Joe. Ern jokes that Billy is a handful, but he wants to talk. Look, Prosper, count it as a blessing. Claire was in Billy's life as an adult. I think that's one of those things with Nova. Judy wasn't there to help guide her, to tell her things I didn't know about or how to talk about. When me and Trudy finally broke up, that final time, she said to me, Ernest, love goes its own way, just like a river. You can't force it to go your way. If you're smart, you'll just flow with it. Our daughters will be wise, just like that one day. It doesn't matter how love comes. Rich, poor, man, woman, black, white, here or hereafter. It flows in its own way, and you gotta flow with it. The words bring tears of joy to Nova's eyes. Okay, it's co-op funds Charlie's Mill collateral, Hollywood and Vice contribution, that brings a total to $250,000. And that big anonymous donation from DC rises the amount to $450,000. Also, Betty's farm is collateral and it gives us another $75K. So then we put the movie money and that totals to $750K to bid with. If no one bids against us, we might have a shot. And look who's over there, Ralph. It's Remy, a backup. Hollywood reminds everyone, no matter who pops up, stick with the plan. Ralph is ready. We've been under the Landrys enough. Today, we take it back. Now, the auction begins. The auctioneer announces, before we get to the foreclosed land, we have some good equipment on the docket. Next up, 3 excellent tracts of land in St. Josephine sold as 1 unit. The bulk of this land has been in the Landry-Boudreaux family for over a century, with 2 new parcels added this past year. Hollywood gives last words of advice to Ralph Angel. You got this, Ra. The auctioneer continues. 800 acres lot in foreclosure, 200 acres as a historical landmark, 600 acres for farm use, starting bid at $250,000. 250, do I hear 250? A farmer shouts from behind Ralph Angel. Hey, Ra, you got our support always. We got your back, man. And several farmers place their auction paddles down. Ralph shouts, 250 is the first bid from the gentleman in the front who can do 300. 300, anybody? 300? It's 300 to the gentleman over there on the right. 400. Sam gets up and says to the group where Ralph sits, whatever y'all have put together, my folks are prepared to double it. So why don't you just save us all some time and tell us what you got? We can call it a day. Ralph ignores Sam and shouts, 400. The auctioneer continues, 400 here for the Bordelons. Do I have 450? 450 to the gentleman over here. Do we hear 500? 500 over here to the Bordelons. Again, do I have 550? The man with Sam shouts, 750. 750 for the gentleman here. It's a crushing blow to the crowd as Ralph Angel lowers his auction paddle. Ralph whispers to Darla, that's it. That's all we got. 750, do I hear 800? 750 right here, going once, going twice, 800. It's a call from Remy, a sigh of shock and relief to the audience. Do I hear 850? 850? It's Sam's rep again, 850. Do I hear 875? Remy shouts, 875. It goes back and forth from 900 to 925, then 950. Prosper whispers, how much is Remy allowed of ours to spend? Nova answers, I'm not sure. Do I hear 975? Remy then says, 1 million on behalf of the Texas Valley A&M University. Sam shakes his head in defeat. 1 million going once, going twice, and a voice shouts from behind the room, 1.1 million. And it's Jacob going once, going twice. His nephew taunts while looking at Hollywood. Gotta keep it in the family. Sold. The Landry lot is sold. It's a punch to the gut for Ralph. To everyone. Hollywood and Vi are excited and ready for their new addition. Hollywood says hello and calls the young girl Polly. Welcome home. Vi lets her know that she's happy to be there and that she's there. She's home. They can show her around, and Vi is proud to show off the kitchen. It's her favorite place to be. Does she cook? Polly learned from her grandmother, yes, and Hollywood can't wait to try some of the cuisines. Now the unveiling of her room. Wow, I get my own room? Yes, dear. Micah goes to see his mom. He apologizes for not being there and he hugs her. Once he settles in, he updates her concerning the offer. It's a firm offer from Leap, based in LA, but they're starting a new office in New York. I will be the program coordinator reporting directly to the senior VP. Salary, benefits, everything. Their motto is change is ours to create. Isn't that great? It's everything I've ever wanted. I can even amplify artists from the collective. Charlie thinks it's great. With your experience, your passion, and your high profile, it's a benefit to them. Micah is happy she sees that now. How have you been, Mom? Charlie was so overwhelmed she realizes that no one has asked her that in such a long time. She spent a long day at the office with people who were very upset with me. It was my responsibility. Micah wants her to know that she left everything on the court. She did her best. And like you always said, Mom, you can be satisfied with how hard you tried. You gave everything, and let people say what they want. You can't control the outcome. Charlie is happy they can finally unwind, and they say, I love you. Nova packs our Aunt Martha's belongings, and she will take the photos and family heirlooms. The heavy furniture can be handled by the church. She thanks Cal for helping her. They get a visit from a man named Des George. Pearl said y'all be around this way. You are the one we've been waiting on. I've been told to give you this here. Deeds to a church? Well, you're Trudy's girl, ain't you? It's for Trudy's church. Nova is confused. My mother had a church? This is the church Martha left her house to. If that prayer room is my mother's room, then the church is yours. Right. And this house, Trudy's keys are right here. Dad says, all right, I'll see you around. Now, with the keys to unlock the door, finally she can view her mother's room. A sewing machine, dusty fragrances, photos, and the essence of her life. Nova breaks down in tears. For so long, I've wanted this, to feel this on the inside and from the outside, wondering how it feels. I'm home, in this room, in this house, in this community. She then walks towards Calvin and says, and with you, I've loved you for so long. I tried to hide it, ignore it. I fought it. I second-guessed it, cursed it. I've done everything but accept it, always thinking about what others would say or think. I just never let it be, to just go with its flow. Let us flow. They say, I love you, and Nova wants to love him forever. Sam wants to know, Jacob, how did you pull it off? What line of credit did you use? Because I know that didn't leave you with enough money after I cut you off. And your mother's a felon. And who knows what else she really is. Jacob claims he has a strong partnership, and Sam would love to meet them. Gladly, Jacob can make that happen. As a matter of fact, right now, when Sam walks into one of the main rooms, it's some of the members of the co-op. He didn't want the land. He wanted the satisfaction of besting him. His partners have integrity and visions of their hometown. They're the only ones that really care about St. Joe. The process to right the wrongs of you, your father, his father, and who knows how long it's gone on. Ralph adds, too long, but it's over now. Sam can't believe it. You mean you're the ones that really bought the land? Yes. They're the real leaders of this community, Sam. I just followed their lead. It's called working together. Their family bought their parcels, and I bought yours. Now, Miss Berthina can have her land back. The Bordelons can have their land back. I have my cane fields for the distillery, which I found a very accomplished farmer to oversee. As he says this statement, he shakes Prosper's hand. And my special legal advice, and he shakes Billy's hand. Sam is disgusted. How could you partner with them? This is ridiculous. Jacob continues. Well, one of them called me before the election, and they were very persuasive. And it's Charlie who called him. With Remy's bid as a distraction, the Bordelons provided the funds and the strategy. Right after Prosper and Hollywood came to the distillery, the transfer was set. All we had to do was wait on the good old boys to hit their threshold. Ralph knows that this is one of the best moments of his life. You lost, Sam. It's over now. But by the looks of your fancy house, you'll be fine. You and your kind, y'all been stealing from my people for generations. It's a hell of a head start for y'all, don't you think? We got something that you'll never have. Love, one another, and our land back. Ralph takes Darla's hand, and they all leave the room one by one. Jacob takes one more good look at Sam and leaves as well. Nova refreshes her new home and rests with Calvin, and the spirit of her father joins them. And they rest with their hands on Nova's womb, where a baby resides. Charlie and West are on good terms. Micah gets to work. Polly cooks with her new mom and dad. Ralph and Blue walk together as Blue runs to his new school. Everyone is moving on, and Ernest is there to indulge in it all. He's there. He's always been there, and he always will be. And that is the end of the episode and closing of the OWN Network's original series, Queen Sugar. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. So thank you guys for rocking with me for this entire series. I've had all of the recaps and reviews on my channel since the start of this channel, and I just want to say thank you so much. Back to the review. Now for this season, I have always said that the one way that they could close the series is to do a montage, right? And giving us closure and giving us an idea of how each of the characters will move forward. Now, just because they didn't close each and every storyline with a perfect bow, what they do, like a lot of series, it gives the audience the choice and the ideas of how they would move on. That's what makes The Wire one of the best series of all time, because it gives us closure, but not, in other words, line for line, what's going to happen with each character. We can make a good idea that the Bordelons will be okay. Everyone has some sort of contentment with their lives. Now, when it comes to Darla and Ralph Angel, of course, they still have their ups and downs, and they have their decisions to make when it comes to the relationship of Blue and Chase. But we can make an idea that they'll be okay. And just like real life and real families, we still have trials and tribulations, and we have conflicts. Nothing is perfect. Things will constantly come into your life. There'll constantly be, questions and what to do, but we can make a good assumption they'll be okay. They're together. They have their land back. Blue is back home, right? He felt uncomfortable being at such a school, but now he's back home. They gave us this idea that, oh, don't be late for school. He's putting on his backpack and he's in his place of comfort. He's very smart. He's gifted. But of course, you want a child to feel comfortable where they go to school, and they want to feel like they don't have to struggle through each day of being in school, right? We have an idea when we know that when it comes to Micah, he's starting a career and a development with his career. Now with Charlie, as I mentioned, right, that I was my prediction that Charlie would come through at the end with something that could be a boost for getting the land back. And I was 100% correct. If you think about it, had it not been for Charlie's phone call, it's highly unlikely that Jacob would have been thoroughly convinced to do more business with the Bordelons, right? Convincing her, hey, there's going to be some people that might come and talk to you. Give them a chance, give them an opportunity. We want to talk to you. That would be good for the entire community. We have some ideas. We are very warm-hearted. We want to move forward. And Jacob, having this desire to always branch himself away from his family, and he knew that it was wrong, but he was very, stuck in this place of not only finances, but feeling like an outcast, the black sheep of the family. And he has this final aha moment of, I don't even want the land. I just wanted to have this moment to show you that you're wrong, and what we've been doing for generations is wrong. We can start this new chapter. We can start this new life of starting to unwind and create change. Change, goodbyes, money, those have been the foundations of this final season. That is the driving force of life. Money, family, and how you decide you want to carry on your morale and your morals to whatever you do, career, friendships, relationships, etc. So this conflict of Darla and Ra, that's life, right? They're going to move forward. They're going to have conflicts. Let's just say there was a season 6, okay? Let's just hypothetically say there was a season 6. From this last episode, we can conclude everything that would happen in season 6. There would probably be more of a dialogue of Darla and Greg and those decisions. There could be a dialogue more of Vi and Hollywood and their new foster child. There could be more dialogue with stories that Prosper would share about Earn. There could be more dialogue when it comes to the new development of Nova and Calvin moving forward. You get what I mean? So to me, this last episode was enough to give contentment to the audience. Now, it might not have ended how everybody had wanted it to end, but it's a fair conclusion. Was it predictable for me? Yeah, but after 7 years of being a dedicated fan to this show, I think that it's fair. It doesn't leave too many holes and too many storylines dropped that would upset me. And I might not agree with everything, but I thought it was a pretty good conclusion in spite of the pandemic, in spite of another cast member that couldn't be involved. Now, the actor, what I thought was kind of comical at some points was them copying and pasting scenes of Charlie from previous seasons. And I mentioned before, I have a very impeccable memory and a photographic memory. So a lot of those scenes are from past conversations that she's had with Micah or Wes. So I thought that was kind of funny because you could tell it was this split screen, and the actor that plays Micah, he's like probably just talking to a wall or a green screen, but they did what they could, right, to make it work. And big kudos to the writers and executive producers probably having to quickly think about, oh my God, what are we going to do to kind of change this dialogue of this entire show, because we need to end it. Keeping it going and season 6 would have not been necessary. It would have been completely redundant, and it would just kept going and going and going. It would have been this frustration. I've said for a lot of the recaps and reviews for this season, it needs to come to a close. We need to bring it to an end. Come on, bring it to some idea of a stopping point. Bring these storylines together. Don't add more, because they were starting to add more, right? With the two boys and their families and Ice and all this other stuff. I'm like, then we had the dialogue with Billy and Prosper. I'm like, okay, I understand I got to add this in, but I really don't care. So what they did was they gave me my wish, and they told us the finalization of what this whole series is about, the land, right? Queen Sugar. They gave us the conclusion of that. Thank God. Because I'm like, okay, what's going to happen? Y'all going to get the land or not? Because remember, we had so much tug and pull with the bones on the land. And then we had the interest in the concepts of, the Tulane and University and them doing the archaeology research and whose bones are there? What do we do? Do we move it? It's a historical site and all this other stuff. And it's just like pulling it all together. I will say, though, that I'm happy that Dominic is out of the picture. I really didn't see them vibing like that. It was kind of like Nova was just settling for him because he was there. When, girl, you knew that your man Cal, he ain't no good. I mean, he's done some police brutality, but you love him. That's your man, and you sticking beside him. I get it. Let me know what you thought. I'd probably say the untied end. One part of the storyline that wasn't added was the whole Vi's Pies thing and the company, right? I don't think they knew what to do with that. In the previous season, they kind of give us an idea that maybe Vi didn't like the covers of the pies. It looked kind of Aunt Jemima to me, and it really didn't look like her. But once again, it's one of those things that as an audience member, you're going to have to conclude in your head what she did with that and what her decision was. I can make a guess that Vi would have changed her mind, right? She didn't like the rush of social media. She didn't like all of the attention. She didn't like the forcefulness and the lab changes of her recipes. She didn't like how unauthentic and connective and intimate the product was, right? Of this mass produced hypothetical potential pies that could be on the shelves. I think her character in the future would have been more content with just going to the farmer's market, selling out of those pies, selling what she could, selling it at the diner, and her being completely content with that. Because remember, they had a huge profit, and Darla showed her that, hey, when you sold it at the farmer's market, you made a huge profit. You did really, really well. So that could be a plus, and that could be enough for Vi. Sometimes in life, another message through this series is that you can have a dream, and just settling at some point doesn't mean that you're settling in a bad way. It's just what's enough for you and what gives you your contentment. When Remy made the statement of basically saying that I'm settled, I have my wife, I have my, the kids and my career, that's what's good for him. That's what makes him happy, right? So it's that message of do what makes you feel right. Only your life and only your ideas are best for you. I can't say what's best for you. I can't say, Remy's telling her, I want you to be settled. But, Nova goes with the flow, and her to have that connection, that gives us a hint that she started to get her connection back with her gift, because she said the same thing that her father said, that her mom said, that you got to be able to let things flow. And then she says that she's going with the flow at the end. So that's great. So it shows us that she's connecting, and she has some sensibility with that and having that connection with the land. So that was great. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for those of you who have been rocking with me. I love you all. You know the motto of my channel: when one show ends, another one takes its place. Stay tuned for so much more. We have the Hulu original series season 2 of Wu-Tang: An American Saga. Check that out. If you haven't seen season 1, don't worry, I got you. Make sure to go in the playlist and binge watch so you can stay up to float and you can join the conversations this fall. There's so much more to announce, and get ready for more on this channel. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like this video, share. This is a family-friendly channel, and I'm just so proud to know that this is a channel where it's good vibes only. We can have good debates and we can agree to disagree. There's so much to watch on this channel. Check out the playlist, and just know, you guys, I love you all. And in the meantime, in between time, say it with me, remember to take care of yourself and each other. Bye. And thank you, you guys. It's the conclusion of Queen Sugar.